Good afternoon. Just want to begin by saying really proud of our football team and the way that they finished on Saturday and bounced back from a tough stretch and stayed together and kept their focus on the process of trying to improve each week and take advantage of a bye week to get ourselves healthy. And some teams come back from bye weeks and are a little sluggish when they play, and that was obviously something we couldn't afford to do, and really worked hard to get our guys ready to play at a high level, and they responded. So really happy for them. Enjoyed spending time with them this morning. It's our first, we don't meet with them on Sundays, and so come back on Monday morning, and a chance to be with them and be able to, just enjoy that time again with them and just talk about the game. And I always start by having them just give me feedback, whether we, things work out the way you want them to or not. We kind of handle it the same way, and to have me listen to them and have them tell me what they think, about what happened and why it happened. And I thought they were really perceptive about some things and did some good stuff. So just very important that we build off of Saturday's win and head into this week. So just kind of as you go through and think about that win for us offensively, we had a group of guys, I thought as a collective group, did some great things and threw the football down the field, had 7 explosive plays of 20 yards or more. That was very important, especially several in the past game. And so the receiving core of Luke Timian and Nick Westbrook, Ty Freifogel, Jay-Sean Harris, and Donovan Hale, as well as Peyton Ramsey. Those guys are our offensive players of the game. They're basically the receiving core and our quarterback. And I thought Peyton threw the ball with good deep ball accuracy, and obviously he had a great touchdown run that was big, and just the offensive line was able to hold up, and we gave up a few sacks, more than we want to. But at the same time, did some good things. Just got to be more consistent across the board. And then defensively, really had a specific plan to try and contain their speed. I was very concerned about their athleticism, and they've hurt us with it the last 2 years. And they've added more speed to their team with some guys they have as freshmen, some redshirt freshmen. So I was very impressed with them. Watched them on film, the week leading up to it, and knew it was going to be a challenge. And so thought did a really good job in the red zone, forced 4 field goals, which ended up being the difference in the game. And in that perspective, and then the bigger one was the takeaways. 4 takeaways continues to be something that we emphasize and our guys are buying into, and really everybody understands how I feel about those, and our guys are creating those, and they're taking the ball away from them and by pressure in the pass game and then breaking at that football and getting it on the ground. So we had a couple guys that we wanted to recognize. First of all, Caden Samuels is our defensive player of the game. He's the one that got the sack caused fumble at the end. Really proud of him, and came in here as a graduate transfer from Syracuse. Has been a really very solid player for us. Very ball, just an unselfish guy that I've been very pleased to have, doing a great job in the classroom and doing a great job as a young man. And also thought Cam Jones really played well. He's a guy that's young, true freshman, just continues to flash, and I thought that he did some really good things, and I felt like that as a collective group we did not tackle to our standard. I was disappointed in that. Did not think we fit the run several times properly and hurt us in some things that they were doing. But bottom line, as a group, I thought we played extremely hard. Jerome Johnson had a huge effort play near the end. Actually, I think it was the play before the sack caused fumble when they got a reception, and he ran the guy down from just playing hard, and that's what he does. And it was big for us. And special teams, Logan Justice and Drew Conrad were our specialists of the game, and rightly so. Drew's tremendous job just being steady and just kind of running our special teams units and being the guy that handles that whole group and takes a ton of pride in it, and just so accurate in what he does, and so such attention to detail young man. And then Logan Justice continues to come through for us, and his first game-winning field goal, and I'm just really proud of him. And because of that, he was named the Big Ten Special Teams Player of the Week this week, and continues to kick at a high level. So really excited for him. And also, as we mentioned before, Mike Hart has been nominated for the Burroughs Award. Just Stevie continues to play well, and the running backs, and Mike's leadership in that room has been huge, and overcoming all the adversity that they have, and just to see Stevie continue to play well. And had a big run. Matter of fact, I showed that whole sequence to our team this morning. We go through, and it started with after we gave up the touchdown at the end. The 2-point play was a huge, play in the game, and so our guys bowed up, got the stop, and got the offense the ball back, and then they drove right down and got in field goal range. A big run by Stevie Scott set that up, and then were able to get the kick. And then after you go up by 2, now you got to go cover. So that was the most important kickoff of our season, as I told our guys on that sideline, and we put our top guys in there, and Raheem Lane made the tackle inside the 20, and that was huge. And then the defense goes out and gets the takeaway, the 4th one of the day. So all 3 phases working together to finish, and all 3 phases finished. So really proud of our guys for that, and really, anxious for our guys to respond in the right way, to be able to build off of this and take momentum into the biggest game of our season, which is our next game against the Michigan Wolverines, and it's the biggest one because it is the next one. And our guys understand that, and we'll introduce them tomorrow to our team and go through the process of taking on a very, very good football team in Ann Arbor, Michigan, with a 4 o'clock kickoff. So we know what they've accomplished this year. They're really playing at a high level, and Coach Harbaugh's got them doing a lot of great things. So great opportunity, great challenge for the Hoosiers this weekend. Questions?
Saw Wap posted a picture from a hospital bed. Is he done for the year?
Well, we don't know yet. So he had some things done, and we'll see how that plays out. I mean, we're trying to get him back, but he's had a rough one. It just seems like we have had a hard time getting healthy, and when he gets back, he's been dinged, and he's had to have some things cleaned up a little bit. So we'll see. But I feel for him because he's worked his tail off and had a great offseason and was ready to grow, and has just had one thing after the next. So we're just trying to battle to get him back.
You said it's one thing after the next. Is it, I guess, all related to kind of the same root cause, or is it different things that have happened since that Michigan State game that have just kind of kept setting him back?
Well, the high ankle sprain was just the nagging. You know, that happened in the Michigan State game, and then he got it, and that's kind of been the long term. You know, and when you deal with those, you know, most people would tell you it's like 6 weeks. You know, usually they always want to try and come back before then, and it usually doesn't work out so well. And then he got another injury, and not related to that, so we're trying to be dealing with that. So, yeah, it's kind of been a couple things. So just the way it goes sometimes. That's why the guys have had to step up, and that's what they did on Saturday. So that will not change.
Coach, what does it say about your receiving core when you can lose someone like Wap but still keep hitting it without missing a beat like you guys have?
Well, it's really important. That's what we always talk about: recruiting, player development. Coach Hurd does a great job with that room, and we got a couple of young guys that we brought in as true freshmen. I think are going to be really good players too, that are just waiting their turn and being developed right now. So that group has become a deep group for us, and a lot of different types of body types in there and skill sets, and I just think it's a testament to what we're trying to build here. You know, we're a young football team, you know, and to be able to get back in position here where we are. I know we have a couple games where, especially 2 for sure that come to my mind, you feel like you just let slip away, and it's very frustrating. And I want us to be, you know, beyond the 5 mark at this point of the season right now for sure. But that's where we are, and we deal with that head on. But to be able to do that with such a young team, you know, they're coming back and so many new faces on defense, and we've had injuries still. We've lost some, you know, very productive guys on offense that haven't really played much at all or any this year, and other guys have had to step up. But it's in the receiving core, it's in the running back room, and so it's just part of it. And we're still, you know, we're probably a couple classes away from having the depth that we need to have, you know. And it just, we recruited well with this current freshman class. We got to do it again, and we got to go do it again. You got to go do it again to be able to create and have the depth from all 4 classes together to be able to withstand injuries and the ups and downs of a season and playing against you know, very mature guys. You look at that offensive line for Maryland, and they were a bunch of 5th-year seniors. And I said that before, and I'll say it again. Those are grown men. And we got some young guys playing on defense that are 18 years old, you know, a bunch of them. And that's a big difference. You know, those 4 years it's 4 years of a lot of things that change for you at this time of your life. And so no excuses there, just reality of where we are. And so our kids are battling, and I'm excited for our receiver room. I've been encouraged by the way that some guys have stepped up that you hope that they will, and then they need to. But as a team, that's what we got to have at all spots. And so we're fighting and clawing and scratching every day to get this program where we want it to be. And obviously, every win's a big win, and every conference win's huge. And so be able to see that group step up when you got guys that go down is what you preach and what you teach and what you want to have happen. Sometimes it does, and unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's been more times than not out of this group, and they're a very resilient football team.
talk about the freshman class again. With the 4-game rule, now you got some new faces you can use. You got James Miller, Madison Norris. Talk a little bit about who's playing a little bit now and what you've seen from them.
Yeah, we got James out there. He plays special teams. He even got some reps on defense, and that was his first time of really getting to play defense, and he got 1 rep in Minnesota on the kickoff cover, and that was it. And so very, very valuable experience, getting Madison out there, running down, covering kicks. He was all fired up, and he's going to be a really good player. He's already gained a bunch of weight since he's been here. He came in at 189 pounds. I know he just came out of a track season, and winning the state championship in the hurdles, but a long frame, and now he's up to about 216, and that's a significant change for him. And so just really, guys like that, and I even think, Miles Marshall hasn't played, but I see him growing and developing every day, and Jacoby Hewitt, those are 2 young freshman receivers that I really have high expectations for, and see those guys every day, and just trying to get those guys involved, and they may get some opportunities on special teams here, and you have that flexibility to do that now, and we'll continue to keep James involved, and just Jonathan King's another guy we just try to continue to work and bring along, and try to get him in position to get out there because the opportunity warrants that. So yeah, that's where this new rule helps, and I'm excited. It's a group that's already been extremely active this season with the guys that you all know about, but then there's several guys that haven't played at all that I think are quietly, developing their bodies and doing the little things right and going to class and learning how to be a Big Ten football player that are going to be a huge part of our program in the future.
Coach, the past few years, Michigan's had guys at quarterback that had some, athleticism to move around, but Shea Patterson seems to bring a new dimension with his escapability. From watching him, does he look like anybody you guys have played before, and just how tough is it to kind of game plan for that?
Yeah, I think Shea Patterson's special. I was a part of the staff that recruited him when he was younger, and ended up going to that particular place, and now he's at Michigan, so I know him extremely well. We watched him play a lot, on film in high school, and a lot of respect for his talents. He's an extremely gifted passer, but also has great escapability, and they'll use him in the run game at times, and it's effective when they do. But what he really creates that makes it so hard is the extending plays. He just runs around back there with his eyes downfield, and he's one of those unique guys that, he can be moving to his left, to his right. It really doesn't matter. He can kind of contort his body and make the throws he has to make, and he's very accurate when he does that. That's what makes me so, nervous as a DC and trying to defend him, because there's always separation that's created when a guy starts scrambling. It's almost impossible not to have that. And so, being able to be – some quarterbacks aren't just – we want to flush them out. We want to get them on the move because they're not as accurate when they're running. Or maybe you can get them to their left if they're right-handed, or you get them to their right if they're left-handed. But it doesn't really seem to matter for him. He kind of – he's able to, be very effective. And it's almost like you don't want him, flushed out too much. But anyways, he's a very, very gifted player, I think it's kind of the missing thing that they've had, in regards to that playmaking ability at that position. They've always had the, really talented receiving core and tight ends and running backs and big old physical offensive line, and those things haven't changed. But you insert this young man, and it seems to be a good fit for what they do. And as they've gotten rolling now, and they've been pretty impressive the last, really the majority of the season. But offensively, their defense has been lights out since day one. But their offense has really been, performing at a high level the last several weeks. So very, very good football team. And I think that he makes them way more dangerous than they were before.
You mentioned after the game that acknowledging the bowl game was something that you didn't necessarily do last year, but you felt it important this year. Is there anything else different about the way you're approaching the stretch run this year that maybe is a little bit different than the way you handled it last year?
Yeah, very, 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 very conscientious of our players and their health and rest, and we changed our schedule for the very purpose of being at our best weeks 9, 10, 11, and 12. Just really felt like that last year we, for multiple reasons, it wasn't just one thing, but multiple reasons that we kind of ran out of juice and did not have the same energy at the end, and we're just tired. And so the bye helped, I think, in some regards, but just the way we've changed our schedule, the way we've approached, giving them Sunday off and lifting on Monday instead of lifting on Sunday, we have, reasons for that. And then even the length of our practices, we taper some of them back to make sure that we got a gauge on our guys. And Dave Ballou and Dr. Ray are very in tune with that, and I follow their lead very closely. And they've helped us modify our practice schedule. That's been different than in the past. And just trying to, learn the best way for our guys to be, competing at a high level this time of the year, So, and how you talk to them, like you said, I've mentioned that. I've kind of taken a completely different approach and been very upfront with our guys about it, and that will continue tomorrow, And so I think that those things, and you always try to figure out what does your team need, and also you grow and do things a little different based on your experiences and what works and what doesn't work for you. And so just trying to, hit all the right buttons and get everything going to where your guys are, when they take the field each Saturday, they're playing their best. And based on the time of the kickoff and time of the year and everything involved with that. So there's definitely been some changes for sure.
Last couple of years, Michigan's really been able to keep your guys' running game, kind of not really been able to do much. Does the fact that the passing game, especially establishing the deep threat last couple of weeks, you feel like that's coming on at like the perfect time to make sure that Michigan can't pack the box like they might have in past years?
Yeah, that's definitely part of the process, and part of one of our objectives was to throw the ball down the field, to be able to take pressure off the run game, force them to be able to not load it and overwhelm you, or just have that extra hat there that they can, that you can't block, because of the structure that they have defensively. So, yeah, there's no question. I mean, we know we needed to, and we've made it a priority to do that, and really was effective on Saturday, and needs to be again. And I think that's just part of what we want to do. I've said it publicly, and they obviously are very, very talented, and they play a lot of types of coverages that we have to be able to have answers for. And they do a lot of different things. And Coach Brown, he's as good as it gets. He does a phenomenal job, and their players respond to him, and they play their tails off, and they're so fast and physical, and he's got them rolling. And so as a defensive guy, you got a lot of respect for that. Just don't like to go against it, but that's part of it. So I just think that they, you got to be able to, take pressure off your offensive line and your run game by stretching the field, and that's part of what we want to be able to do. We want to do it, throughout the season, but just trying to get better at it, and that needs to continue.
Coach, Raekwon didn't play Saturday, and I think Jerome Johnson got a little banged up and came out, and I don't remember him coming back in. Just an update on those two and just the overall health of your team.
Raekwon is he's really day-to-day. We're hoping to get him back for Saturday, and we'll know more later in the week, but he's working hard to get to that point. Jerome is going to be fine. Got a little bit dinged up, but he was back practicing today, and Jacob Robinson's back practicing today, and trying to continue to build his rep base and his endurance and ability to make some more plays and take some more. So, and then Micah McFadden went out of the game, but he's going to be back, practiced as well. So we just need as many as we can get. We got to get everybody healthy as possible, and we'll get James Miller some reps at linebacker in practice this week to see if we have to have him. He'll be more ready than he was maybe a week ago, to be able to have the scheme knowledge. We did some specific things that would have been hard for a guy to come in there that didn't know what he's doing. So we lost Mike in the first half. It really kind of put a lot of stress on us at that spot. So we had to kind of take our mics and move them to Stinger because of just understanding the weekly scheme that we were going to be implementing. So just depth is still always an issue. We're still not where we need to be, but we're getting closer. But still got a long ways to go, and that it'll be a continual process of developing depth through recruiting and player development.